Buonasera to all the urbanists out there. Today we're going to explore the neighborhood of Prati, which is a beautiful cosmopolitan area, very hip, very gorgeous buildings and architecture everywhere, and very beautiful condominiums. And we're starting right now at one of the best bakeries in all of Rome, Panerifico Bonsi, which is known as one of the best in the entire city. Now, I already got the food, it's already here. I'm so excited to show it to you. Here are the buildings that we're surrounded by. I'm Ariel, this is Urbanist. Let me know where you're watching from. But look at our spread here today. This is our spread here today. We're trying one of their pizzas. They have different pizzas every single day. And it said the Roman pizza is made usually in bakeries, or at least the very good ones are. And here we have kind of a sandwich with some of the cured meats and a lasagna. I'm so excited to try this out. So let me know where you're watching from, everyone, and let's have some amazing food. This is their like dining area that is rather new here. So this has lots of fame. Apparently the baker who runs this place used to run one of like the top restaurants and decided to quit his fancy restaurant job to make some baked goods in a fairly residential neighborhood. While tourists do stay here, it's not super touristy as, say, the Piazza Navona area or where the Pantheon is. This area is a bit more local. So let's try it out. Hello, Lemora. Hello, Ronald. Hello, Miss Fancy. Hello, Kimberly. Hello, Mater. Hello, Wendy. Everyone, nice to see you here. So I'm so excited to try this out. All right, first thing, and then we're gonna get on walking, because as we're walking, we're gonna try to find some coffee, espresso, and we're gonna try to find some gelato in this neighborhood. So let's see if we can find it as we're walking around. No plan, no agenda. This is a wandering, so not too much history today, kind of just embracing the spontaneity of exploring the city. Here's the pizza first. Let's try it out. So it's a bakery, so they put a lot of importance on the pizza, on the bread. And look how fluffy this bread is. Look how perfectly charred it is on the bottom. I had this on my last day in Rome back in 2019, and I smacked myself in the head because I thought to myself, why didn't I come here sooner? Because it is one of the best bakeries I've ever tried. So let's see if they still stand up to that experience I had back in 2019. Wow. 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 I literally was a bit skeptical, because when I walked into the shop, and the reason I'm not showing you inside the shop is it's a bit awkward sometimes showing these shops in Italy, so I prefer to order ahead of time. But when I went in the shop, they didn't have too much of the pizza toppings that came last time. So I looked at this one and thought to myself, oh, this is rather plain. You know, I eat mushroom pizza, you know, in New York City. But wow, they did something here with this topping. The cheese is so good. The cheese, of course, it's been standing there for a while because this is a bakery, so they're not like constantly pumping up fresh pizza like a Neapolitan place, which we may visit in this trip, who knows. But the cheese is so good. It's so flavorful. So has a little bit of a funk to it. So I wonder if it's a pecorino, maybe. And then on top of it, we have a mushroom. And the mushrooms here are so good compared to the US. The mushrooms here have such a juiciness to it. And then beyond that, there's a hint of spice. And I'm not sure where that spice is coming from. Maybe because they use some black pepper. So maybe they're going for kind of a pasta tartufo type of deal on the pizza. And of course a fresh spattering of basil. Wow, and then the bread itself is so fluffy. Ooh, it might not look like anything mind-blowing, because when we're used to pizza being very fancy. You know, when you have that beautiful pizza, either in New York, you're used to look at floppy and cheesy and greasy, which by all means is a great indicator of a New York slice. Or if you're looking for kind of a fancier pizza in the US, you're looking for beautiful toppings, a beautiful presentation, very fresh. But here in Italy, especially in the bakeries, they don't look like much. They don't look like much. And that's the point. Because Italian food isn't about being fancy, about being Instagrammable. Italian food is about being fresh, great ingredients, and great preparation. And this pizza might not look like anything, but damn, that's a good slice. Lynn says it looks like a focaccia bread. Great observation, Lynn. While it might look like a focaccia breads tend to have very soft. It's very, very soft and very pillowy. The pizza we had yesterday was very pillowy, more like focaccia. This one is more like typical Roman style. So there is a crunch to it. There's a crunch to it. Wow. The bread, you know, is what makes the pizza here. In New York, it's the floppiness, the cheesiness, the greasiness. In Naples, it's the piping hot, bubbly mozzarella with the fresh, doughy bread that is bigger around the perimeter of the circle. But in Rome, it's about the bread. The pizza is all about the bread. The toppings are secondary. It's about the bread. And if you go to a bakery like this, oh my God, you will be in love. So let's go. And you can also, you order by the pound, you order by custom size. I ordered very small and still got a lot of food. So let's try this out. This one is with this. The ham, it has pistachios in it, or pistachio, as they say it here. Hello, Panejotes. Hello. Axie says, send me some. I think I might need to share. This is quite a lot of food for me, especially now that I'm about to walk around. All right, let's try this out. To be honest, I'm not a fan of this ham. I remember being given this ham when I was a little kid, and me not liking it whatsoever. I'm not sure why I bought this, but when in Rome, do as the Romans do, and buy the ham with pistachio in it. So let's see how it is. Okay. The ham is better than the boar's head ham with the pistachios in it. Okay, it's better. Still not a fan of this ham, to be honest. It's very kind of salty in taste. But the bread, I'm just gonna try it without the ham. The bread, again, the bread is a bit different. Here we have kind of, the bread is a little bit more crusty. Here this bread is a little bit less toasted and a little bit more softer and chewier on the outside, on the inside. Of salt on it. So Matt says, I love ham sandwiches a lot. SJ says, nice shirt. Gary says, this is like one of those shops you see in Pompeii. It really is. It really is one of the shops that you see in Pompeii. Yeah, it's really awesome. The entire atmosphere inside here. What, no hot wings, says George? No, we did not go to Staten Island as promised. So the bread is really good. I'm not a fan of this ham. And the Jota says new glasses, or am I wrong? No, same sunglasses. The crunch is nice. Adam, are you in Rome? I am in Rome. It's thicker crust than bread, says Anthony. It is, Anthony. Axie says, nice shirt. Thank you, Axie. that ham can grow on me. It can grow on me, but let's go to the final piece of this spread. Now, they had a lot more in there. They had dessert, but I want to save dessert for another stop. They also had maritoso, which is the cream, the bun stuffed with a bunch of cream. That is great for breakfast. So I'd rather show you that in a breakfast video. Let me know if you want a breakfast video. But let's do, without further ado, let's do the lasagna. Now, lasagna, you know, that is kind of an Italian-American thing. I'm not sure how lasagna is in Italy. To be honest, I don't think I've ever tried a lasagna in Italy yet. So this might be my first lasagna in Italy. Actually, no, I've tried a lasagna before. And the one I tried before was made to order. So this is my first like kind of traditional home style lasagna. Let me show it to you. What place is this? I'll show you the front. It's called Panificio Bonci. Bonci. B-O-N-C-I. It's one of the most famous bakeries in all of Rome. All right, let me show you the lasagna. Look at that lasagna. Oh, look how crispy the top is. And this is a small slice. I spent a total of 10 euros on this. So you can easily eat a lot more and get very full. Oh, look at that lasagna. Oh my God, I'm so excited. Let's bite in, let's take a forkful. Ooh, you might need a knife for this one, but look at that. Look at all those layers. All right, everyone, my second lasagna in Rome, in Italy. I only tried lasagna once before in 2019 here. It was a very different style. You know, it didn't really remind me of American lasagna, which I grew up and really loved. Just like Garfield, the cat cartoon, if you know of him. Someone just mentioned him. Who was it? Ronald, you're right, just like Garfield. I was actually a fan of lasagna because of Garfield. And I became more of a fan of Garfield because of lasagna. So, it's a never-ending circle. Mmm. Oh. There's a reason why lasagna has to be served, made into a huge plate, and not served piping hot out of the oven made to order. That could be very interesting. There are places that do that really well. I have a favorite place in Puerto Rico that does it made to order. It's amazing. But something about lasagna that's sitting there for maybe 2 or 3 hours, 4 hours, where the sauce gets the time to congeal and get that extra sweetness from it, combining with the ingredients of the ground beef, might be. I think it's most likely ground beef here. The ground beef and that cheese. Nothing beats it. Oh my God. So this reminds me of a good American style lasagna. And I'm not sure if it's the Italian Americans, where they got the recipe from. So if anyone knows where did the Italian Americans get the recipe for lasagna from, let us know. What region of Italy? So the sauce is super sweet. It's as I mentioned, it's like a congealed. It's a little bit kind of pastier because it's not piping hot fresh out of the oven, which I think is a good thing in this case. And the cheese on top is perfectly crispy cheese. Is it fresh pasta? And the pasta does taste fresh. And I think it is normal here to have fresh pasta. I think it would be rather blasphemous for a location of this rank to not have fresh pasta. But don't quote me on that. The pasta does taste very good though. It is cooked pretty tender. I'm in love. I'm in love with this lasagna. Oh my God. Girl in the Curl says, and I'm having Greek yogurt. You must try the carbonara and the cacio e pepe, says Gianluca. Gianluca, yes, I'll be trying the carbonara and the cacio e pepe at some point in my trip. Those are more sit-down places, so stay tuned. I'll go to one of the sit-down places at some point in this trip. All right, I'm gonna have the rest of this. This is so good. This is absolutely delicious. I think Garfield would move to Rome if he had this lasagna. This is actually one of the better lasagnas I've had. It's so perfectly balanced. It also has a kind of kick to it. I think here in Rome, they just find very good black pepper. And that black pepper has a nice kick to it. Because in America, we tend to have kind of that very produced, industrialized black pepper. Only one type. Black pepper has a bunch of different varieties, but in the US, we would only tend to use one. Here in Italy, it appears that they use several. And I've seen a few restaurants where they say they use a few different black pepper varieties for a cacio e pepe, which is basically black pepper, pecorino cheese pasta dish. What's going on there, says Hansen. Eating some amazing food. It's so good. I might come back here. I'm gonna come back here. This is a bakery, so it won't be open late. So come here for the afternoon, which they open up at 5 p.m. Come here at 5 p.m., grab yourself a lasagna. Wow. Or one more bite of pizza, and now we're gonna go off into Prati and see what else we can find. We gotta find some espresso, maybe some dessert, and definitely some gelato. In love, in love. Highly recommend this place. Let me show it to you on the front. And Jau says the plastic forks kind of kill it for me. I understand, Jau. This is more kind of like to-go place. And Italy has two types of culture, just like America. There's sit-down dining that can range anywhere from kind of your neighborhood trattorias, which are very inexpensive, to your very high-end fine dining. And then you also have street food, like we do in America. And more street food than even like a city like Paris. It's similar to America in that regard. So this is more kind of, and this is not even street food, this is like a bakery. So now you're not gonna get a kind of a sit-down experience eating this type of food with a proper fork and knife. All right, let's go. So right there is the name. Pizzeria Bonzi. Joe, do they deliver to Orlando, Florida? No, they don't. But now I think this is new. They now have a Pacific pizzeria, and the line is getting long. So this place is very popular. I remember coming here in the morning in 2019, and it was packed to the brim with people. So it's panificio, which means like bakery or bread bakery. In Spanish would be panaderia. So they differentiate between bread bakeries and cake bakeries here, just like in Spanish. And here it is. Gianluca says, oh God, Bonzi is the best way for everything. Oh yes, Bonzi is amazing. So let me show it to you from the outside over here. All right, so we had our first stop, which was Panificio Bonzi, if someone could write it down. Top recommendation for bakery here in Rome. There's a few others that I really enjoy as well. So now we're going to wander around the neighborhood of Prati, which used to be vineyards, only until about the mid-1800s. 1870s is when this area was leased over by one of the cardinals and then developed into a neighborhood. It must smell so nice in the bakery. It does have a beautiful, beautiful smell. Very fresh bread and flour that they use here as well. So why Italian food is good, so good, is an entire video in of itself. And I don't mean to bash, well, I do mean to bash American food culture, because we in America, we need to work some things out. And one of the things that makes Italy stand out is the flour. Flour, F-L-O-U-R, is from a variety of different grains that are not genetically modified, at least not too much, to the point where they lost most of their nutrients. So A, flour here doesn't have as much gluten as it does in America, and then B, flour here has more nutrients, and then C, it has more taste. In America, due to having monoculture, which means growing massive fields of one single crop, that being grains, we genetically modified those grains to be very efficient in growing in large amounts, and also being resistant to disease and fungus. The thing is, one crop, you have lots of disease, lots of fungus, lots of bugs, lots of issues, which you don't have in the normal agricultural environment where different foods are growing together. And that's why in the US we end up modifying our grain to the point where it had to be resistant to all these challenges, because we wanted to industrialize it to the level that we can feed an entire nation of 400 million people. But at the same time, we lost a lot of things. And that's why you can see a lot of Italians, they're not so big as Americans. And it's for a very good reason. Patty sent 200 stars. Thank you so much, Matt, for giving me the heads up. I appreciate you. How's the water here? Do you think the water quality has anything to do with it? Asked Tammany. The water here is good. It's drinkable. I'm not entirely sure the ins and outs of the water, but I assume it does lend something good to making good quality bread. Also, a lot of mineral water is used here. So look at these buildings of the Vatican. Yep, the Vatican has an observatory. The Vatican observes the cosmos. Why? It's one of the questions I've always wanted to answer. Why does the Vatican have its own observatory? Why are they so interested in the cosmos? And why do we see the Vatican Observatory right over here? Well, it's because the Vatican is literally right down there. It's in the next neighborhood down called Borgo. Well, Vatican's its own country, but the neighborhood right in front of it is called Borgo. So Sonia says, thank you for the wonderful tour. If you like bread, you need to travel to Germany. We literally have hundreds of different types of bread. Ooh, that's so cool. I can't wait to go to Germany one day, says Henning. Henning, thank you so much for letting me know. Sonia sent 200 stars. Thank you so much. Ooh, do send those stars. Stars help keep the show running. And with the more stars, more super chats, more supporters and patrons, whichever way you prefer, the more of these amazing, exciting places I can bring to you from the comfort of your own phone. You don't even need to walk. You don't need to walk. You don't need to do any research. You don't need to plan, buy plane tickets, buy tickets to the attractions ahead of time. You don't need to do any of that. You literally could travel and just open up your phone, your app, and boom, you're here in Italy and abroad. So if you choose to support, thank you so much. Gary says, bang on the door of the Vatican and ask if they can reveal all the secrets. Yes, I need a little bit of water. All right. Lots of motorcycles. Here's the garbage pails. So, unlike New York, they actually have cans. They have these huge dumpsters, which are nice. You don't see heaps of trash bags here. We got so many people tuning in. Are we gonna break a record today? 306 people tuning in. Wow. Okay, everyone, slam that like button right now. I have a feeling that in this Italy trip, we're going to cross 1,000 people tuning in live at the same time. Here are the bus systems here in Rome. They have a very extensive bus system. So don't rely too much on the schedule, but if you manage to catch the bus, it is a very pleasant ride. What's up with the color of the buildings? Great question. I don't know. That is an excellent question. Well, might be the materials that they're using, and also some of these buildings are old, 200, sometimes more years old. Most of this neighborhood was starting to be developed in the 1870s, so they're at least 150 years old, or at most 160, 70 years old. So you see, it could be also a little bit stained due to age. Julio says, very good cell connection. Yeah, Julio. I think the Pantheon unfortunately has bad cell service. So I think it's just what that's one of the few areas that has bad cell service. Hey, watching from Portland, Oregon with your morning coffee. Hey, don't see your name, the person from Portland. It's because you might be using emojis, but do let me know what's your name. Maybe I can remember it next time you turn in. So why is this place called Rione 22? Well, it's because we are in Rione 22. What is Rione 22? Rione is similar to the Parisian arrondissement. It's the sector of the city that we're in. So we're in the 22nd sector. Or if you want to sound Parisian, we would be in the 22nd arrondissement. But here they call it Rione. Rione. Debbie says, great clear video. Yeah, Debbie. Ooh, I'm full. That was quite a lot of food. I might need to walk all this out. Oh wait, that's my job. Okay. Andrew has a complete counter theory to why that restaurant is called Rione 22. It's because there's a guy named Rione and he's 22 years old. Very good theory, Andrew. Questionable traffic. Oh yes, there's a lot of traffic here. You know, a lot of these cities are dependent on the car. Stay tuned, because at some point nearby, in the very near future, and things seem to be going well here on this European trip, I might show you a few European cities where it's not car-centric. Here, this is a very walkable city, just like New York, just like Paris. But there's still a lot of car traffic. But I might show you a city in the very near future that I've always wanted to show you that does not rely anything on cars. So, guess that city. And I hope to visit it in the near future. Susie says, I want to see you ride a scooter. Susie, I'm a world scooter champion, and I cannot reveal my secrets to live video because I'm training for the Olympics in scootering. So, Shea and Dean guess Venice? Not quite. It's a good guess, but not quite. Matt, Diana says Lisbon. That's a good guess as well. I'm not entirely sure too much about Lisbon. That's not the one in my mind, but I'll look more into Lisbon if it's truly walkable. But the place is, a lot of people got it right. It is Amsterdam. Tamo, Din, and a few others got it completely correct. Amsterdam. Christoph says LA. No, LA is quite the opposite. LA is a car-centric city. All right, so here we are. One of the major intersections. Pedro says, come to Lisbon. Oh, I would love to go to Lisbon. So this is Viale Julio Cesar. Julius Caesar, right over here. This is the Avenue of Julius Caesar, which we'll talk about soon. Stay tuned on Sunday. And Lisbon says you called. We do have a viewer named Lisbon. Not with an O, but with an A. Thank you so much for tuning in, Lisbon. Most cities are walkable and bikeable, and then there's Holland. Yeah, Holland is on another level in terms of walkability from what I've researched. All right, we gotta find a coffee. Where can we find a good coffee? Might be a little bit hard here in Italy. I gotta admit, it might be a little bit hard to find a good coffee. I don't know if there's espresso somewhere out here. We might need to go to El Mic Cafe. El Mic Cafe, right here. Has anyone visited that beautiful Italian restaurant called El Mic McDonald's? McDonald's. It's an Italian who kind of fell in love with Irish culture, came back here, and decided to make a authentic Italian experience. Tamo says, lower your expectations for Amsterdam? Oh no, Tamo, don't tell me that. And McDonald's. And Lenny says he used to have a farm. Yes. McDonald's farm. Oh, Tamo says for the food. Okay, specifically for the food. Yeah, I do understand. Susie said keep on walking. Don't stop at McDonald's. Okay, I'll do my best. There is another authentic Italian restaurant here called Jollibee. I'm not sure if you heard of it. They sell spaghetti in Jollibee. I think Ronald might have heard of this authentic Italian restaurant. There's actually one now in Rome, and we might pass by it. Oh, look at the beautiful streets here. Hey, is that Satu? Do remind me your name. Japan is in midnight now. Oh yes, we have a crazy time difference. How much are these scooters? I don't know. I haven't tried them yet. I think I will do at some point soon. I haven't tried one yet. But if you want to scan the QR code and rent me the scooter. Matt says I have to get a haircut at home. Be right back. Okay, thank you so much for tuning in, Matt. Do I plan on visiting Circus Maximus Stadium? Yes, I do. Soon, probably earlier next week. Here is a little mini car. This is so cool. I heard that these are becoming more common in Europe. I want one of these. This seems so much fun to ride. That seems so much fun. I'm not a huge fan of cars, but give me a mini car. Ooh, I'll ride that all day and all night. Wendy says get in that car. I would love to get in that car. Looks like the funnest ride ever. I wonder if I can rent one. All right, anyone want a coffee? Let me know. I want a cafe. That looks like a Circus Maximus car. Says Lisbon. Am I going to Vatican City? Yes, I will be inside Vatican City, chilling with the Pope on Friday. Same time, just a little bit later. I'll be live more about 6:15 American time. I mean, Roman time, sorry. Ronald says I need 2 of those. Give me 5 too. Oh yeah. You have a bar on your left. Yeah, I might go for one of these cafes. We'll bump into one. Which way shall we go? Where shall we go? Michael says, do I miss NYC? No, I do not, Michael. I do not. Admittedly, I do not. So here's the metro. Huge M sign. It's the red line. I think, yeah. The line A. Line A. Gianluca says, read bar. I don't know, Gianluca, it's a bit hard to find coffee here. You know, there's not that many places. Hey, Irene, you just had an avocado toast? Oh my God, Irene, I am jealous. There's no avocado toast here. You know, I met an Australian woman who works at one of the shops here. And I asked her if there was any avocado toast. And she says no, she hasn't heard of anything. No avocado toast. And my heart sank. So to answer the question again, if I miss New York City, the only thing I do miss is a good avocado toast. That's the only thing. For now, who knows? I haven't been away from New York long enough to miss it. Oh, Ronaldo's going to be so happy, and all the Filipinos out there, because I found the authentic Italian restaurant here, Jollibee. Jollibee. Authentic Italian. You can get yourself a good spaghetti with a lot of sugar, a good fried chicken. It's home of the famous, ooh, how do I pronounce that? It's a weird Italian word. It's a strange Italian word. Chicken hoy? Oh, chicken joy. Chicken joy. Ooh, okay. Beautiful, beautiful Italian specialty. I haven't heard of the chicken joy. Chicken joy. Chicken joy. Okay. That's how you pronounce it. Chicken joy. Can't believe there's an actual Jollibee here. So in all seriousness, I'm joking around. Jollibee is a chain from the Philippines. It's a Filipino McDonald's. Now I'm gonna have a lot of Italians that watch my show who don't understand sarcasm, because in America and other parts like the UK, there's a lot of sarcasm, especially in the UK. So, so I think so some things are going to be missed in translation with this broadcast. A lot of Italians are going to be like, "What is this American talking about?" So it's a Filipino chain, and there's one here. I wonder why. I wonder if there's a lot of Filipinos that have been moving here. Tammany says, we do love our sarcasm. Yeps. Sarcasm is common in the UK, fairly common in a lot of parts in the US. And beautiful fashion here. But let me know, Italian viewers, is there sarcasm in Italy? Obviously there's sarcasm in basically every language, but is it common? Do people find it funny? Let us know. Ah, here it is. Castroni Cafe. Oh, this is the place. All right, bear with me. We're gonna grab a espresso. Just gotta put on my mask. Brian says, yes, it can be a slippery situation here in Italy. Sarcasm can be fun, but it can be vastly misunderstood. Are people friendly here? Friendly, yeah, but not, not like Greece, not like Mexico. I would say those two countries are very friendly. It's a different quality. Let me explain more as I grab a coffee. So bear with me. Let me put on my mask. Thank you so much for the $5 super chat, Diana. I really appreciate it. Okay, my mistake. So I tried already Castroni Cafe, which blew me away, but this one does not have one. This one does not have a coffee bar inside. It's a very old establishment, but no coffee bar in this one. I thought they had one, so we'll continue on. So it's basically a huge a place to buy coffee and coffee gear. Francesco says, I thought you were in Greece last time. Are you now in Italy? Yes, I am. I traveled very far away to come here to the great country of Italia. It's been a far, long journey to come over here to Italia. All right, let's grab some coffee. You can walk into any place. Será un espresso, por favor. Grazie. Alright, look at this. I think I'm going to be charged right now. I got paid right after. Oh, look at this. Susie says, ooh, cappuccino. Oh, yeah. So filled with crema. Look at all that crema. Absolutely amazing. And the great thing is you can order a coffee very casually at basically any single bar all around Rome. It's a very quick process. Sometimes you have to pay ahead. In this case, it seems like they didn't care. But sometimes you pay ahead and then you go to the bar, they show your ticket, and they give you an espresso. Espresso, if you don't know, is water pressure over coffee grounds. So this is an espresso machine. So it is not filtered coffee. Filtered coffee is watery. If you want filtered coffee here in Italy, I recommend ordering an Americano. If you go more out in the countryside, I don't think they might know what you mean, which means a shot of espresso or two over hot water. And basically everywhere here you'll find great espresso. Basically everywhere. Wow.
1.000.000.
Milione. Grazie.
Where are you from?
New York.
Oh,
New York. Also good coffee there, but not too much espresso. We do more of the filter.
come così?
Yes.
Io Napoli, così.
No, oh, see. Okay. Tomo says that was Italian sarcasm. Yes, we encountered Italian sarcasm. I love it. She said, so if people don't understand, she said $1 million. Which I felt very hubris. I immediately knew what she said because Italian is very similar to Spanish. So it's if someone speaks slow enough, I could understand it. But if they speak fast, then it gets a little bit tricky. All right, that was a great coffee. Tuck the string behind your hat. Well, it's on purpose. Style, BP, leaving the string outside of the hat. So, that was a really good cup of coffee. Italian espresso has a very unique taste. It's very strong. It's very chocolate. It's very nutty, hazelnut flavors. They're kind of much more deeper than your American espresso. American espresso, by all means, is really good, especially in New York. But, oh, buongiorno. Saluti. I think he was saying hello. American espresso is good, but it tends to be brighter, fruitier, has those notes. So that's what I like about here in Italy. So having the espresso alone is just a delicious drink. Now, someone said, Susie, you just mentioned, I would have a cappuccino. Susie, do be careful. You know, like in Greece, we just mentioned the T word. Luckily, there's not that many Greeks here, so I'm gonna say, can't say Turkish coffee in Greece, ever. But here you can say cappuccino, but only before 11. You start running into trouble. Cappuccino after 11, it's seen as blasphemy here. So this is a very bittersweet memory. This is a great gelateria, as evidenced by all the people coming here. It's called Lemongrass Gelato. And I'm glad we end up bumping into this place. I'm not going to try the gelato here today. But this gelateria, I stopped here. It was my very first video in Italy, live video in Italy. And I came here in October 2019, stopped inside, got myself a gelato. A video until the next day. So like blown away by it. And the guy behind the counter was so funny that I ended up making a video talking about the gelato. And the guy was hilarious. He didn't know any English, but he was like smiling, saying hello, and he came over to the camera and tried to tell me something. I had no idea what he said. And then I found out, someone told me that they knew the guy and he unfortunately passed away in that cable car accident that was reported globally. There was a huge cable car that fell down here in Italy. He was with his girlfriend, and they both perished. And he was training to be a doctor. He came from Iran to Italy to be a doctor. He was close to getting his doctorates. He was working at a gelateria to make some money as he was becoming a doctor. So very sad. You know, it was like my first good memory of Italy, and it's crazy how you bump into someone, you know, you think you would never hear from them again. On these videos, you know, I've gone to so many places, I've done so many videos. If they're not a viewer and they're just a stranger I just happened to meet in a video, I don't think I would ever see that person again, especially in the foreign country where I'm not from. And somehow that story got back to me, and it kind of blew me away. It's like, oh wow, you don't know who you pass and who's not going to be here any longer. That's yeah, so it's a bittersweet memory. So may he rest in peace. I'll always remember this gelateria. Let's actually have a gelato in his honor. If anyone can remind me of his name, he had a very long Irani name. So if anyone can remind me of his name, you can find it. Let's grab a gelato.
Inizia a mangiare già? Anche allena il cono? Limone che pure? E arancia? Hai l'arancia? Poi limone e melone o il prossimo? Limone e qualcos'altro. E poi vuole il pistacchio? Non lo vuoi il pistacchio? No, non vuoi il pistacchio. E che vuoi? Banana? Banana? Banana, va bene. No? Quello ok, vediamo, per favore mangia in maniera molto veloce, vai.
Ragazzi, ciao, grazie, tutto,
Dai, andiamo a sedere.
Senti, hai risposto bene.
Mangia, vedi che sta cadendo. Ragazzi,
Queste pistacchio di fronte.
prego.
Copete, small, pistachio.
Lo so che facciamo è difficile trovare il pistacchio buono, perché sono...
You have cream? Crema? Crema, grazie.
Adesso arrivo a io.
Quanti fanno?
Sì, grazie.
Arrivo, fai tramite le bambine. Poi io decido sul cono oppure va bene. Allora, io voglio
Okay, so in honor of the Irani doctor who unfortunately passed away too young, he was maybe a year or two older than me. May he rest in peace. Lemongrass. So let me put my camera down here. Hey Maisie, found the name. Thank you so much. It's Muhammad Dresa. Thank you so much. His name was Muhammad Reza Shah Savandi. That was his name. May he rest in peace. So actually, I ordered the same ice cream I ordered when I came over here, and he was kind of saying the word pistachio over and over. Maybe you found it funny the way I said it. So let me find the spoon I have. How do you know it was him? If you didn't know his name, says Nina. So Nina, by pure coincidence, Nina, great question. By pure coincidence, a viewer, an urbanist viewer, knew him personally, it blows my mind, and I verified it. I saw the video, saw the guy's face, and then saw the photo in the news story and confirmed it was him. And I checked him on Facebook to double check, because sometimes, you know, people can look alike, and it was 100% him. So yeah. So let's try it out. Here's crema. So you got asked for crema. Sometimes you might not get it automatically. It is whipped cream. If you usually don't have whipped cream in America, I get it. I'm the same. I don't order the whipped cream in America because it tends to be very sweet and doesn't add too much, at least for my personal taste. But trust me, the whipped cream here in Italy is absolutely amazing. It is freshly made. The milk quality is also far above than America. Ooh. That whipped cream, and this is melting quickly because it's very hot today. That whipped cream, it tastes very milky. You actually get the kind of like that beautiful sweet funk of a good milk. In America, sometimes, again, I'm gonna be bashing American food a lot because I think we need a little bit of a wake-up call. Usually milk, hey, buongiorno. Usually we need a wake-up call, and that cream that they use, you can taste the milkiness, the natural milkiness from it. So it's very creamy. It tastes like a good fresh cup of milk. Nina says, you amaze me, you're not sweating. It's hot, but I don't feel like sweaty. I think it's because it's not humid. So let's try this out. Justin says, bash away, we need to stop GMOs. We do. Oh, wow. This is why I went live that day when I had met Muhammad Reza. Pardon my Irani pronunciation, or Farsi pronunciation. I was blown away. This pistachio tastes like fresh pistachios, freshly crushed the morning of. Maybe it's not the morning of that they crush these pistachios, but it's very recent. Very good quality pistachios. Because sometimes, again, you might have pistachios in other countries, ain't gonna be as flavorful as the pistachios that you'll buy here in Italy. Somehow they even do the nuts really well. They go nuts for nuts here as well, just like the Greeks. And the ice cream is always fresh. They don't leave the ice cream for 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 days, like Carvel might do in America. And also, they use good quality milk. And again, the milk is what makes it. Also, no big ice crystals. The big difference between gelato, Italian gelato, and American ice cream is that Italian gelato is much more creamier because it's made more fresher and more quicker. American ice cream, since it's made in bigger batches, and it has its own great flavors, it has its own pros, definitely. The ice crystals are bigger. So you taste a little bit more kind of the iciness of the ice cream. But in the gelato, it tastes more milky. And that's what I really love about this gelato. Now it's funny, Muhammad Reza was, one of the jokes he said was, because there's literally another lemongrass. This place is called Lemongrass Gelato. There's another lemongrass around the corner. And he was saying over and over, this is the best one, in very kind of broken English. He was fluent in Farsi and Italian, but not so much in English. And he was like, this is the best one. This is the only one. I think he heard me mention saying, oh, you can just also go to the lemongrass around the corner. He was like, no, it's this one, And less ice crystals because of the sugar, says Justin. So I don't know about the sugar, Justin. Do let me know. What's the deal with sugar here in gelato? It doesn't taste as sugary as an American ice cream, to be honest. It's melting very quickly. I'm gonna have a few more bites. And people are remarking, why are you standing right by a trash can? Ariel, come on, don't you have any decency? Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm a live streamer here on the wild, doing these things off the cuff, unscripted, without planning ahead of time. Why don't I plan? Well, because I want to show you a real life experience. And what I need with the camera, I only have 2 hands. I don't have a third one. I'm not a mutant. So sometimes I gotta find anything to be my tripod, rather than kind of try to hold my gimbal and try to eat an ice cream at the same time. I gotta do anything necessary to have a tripod. So my world is my tripod. Garbage cans, flower pots, electrical transformers out on the street. The world is my tripod. Until I can get a cameraman, then until I can get a camera person, then I can then I can do walk and eating at the same time. So deeply flavored in pistachios. So deeply flavored in pistachios. Well, so one more time, everyone, give a round of hearts to Mohamed Dresa's family. I hope they're doing well. I hope maybe they bump into this video and see this random tribute from a random guy from halfway around the world who had a very small but powerful encounter with a lovely person for a few moments. I hope their family maybe bumped into this. I think they might enjoy it potentially. So hearts one more time. Let's continue walking around. Mohamed Dresa, thank you for making my first night in Italy an amazing pleasure back in 2019. And may your family live on your memory any way possible. One more bite. It's melting quickly. It's turning into a milkshake. Delicioso. Magnifico. Oh, wow. Wow, that was so good. So here's the tram. These trams are really cool rides, actually. I rode it once when it came back here. La Bea says, I've been watching you for a few minutes and now I feel like I need to buy some gelato. I'll definitely do if you can. Mike says, ride a scooter next if you don't mind. I don't quite have the gear to do scooter and live at the same time. Let me cross the street over here. Bear with me because I'll point out a pizza place. So, pizza after gelato won't be a good combination. Also, I'm already really full. Tonya says, I don't know how you don't gain weight. Oh, Tonya, you don't know. I've been hiding that weight all these years. Here's another great pizzeria. It's called Pinza. About these pizzerias, their pizzas are a little bit different. I'm not sure how to describe them, but they're not really fully cooked until you order them, and then they fully cook them. So I think they're closing right now. But pinza. Let me know if anyone knows exactly how to describe a pinza. It's a different type of pizza. All right. So that's another recommendation I have here nearby. Roy, thank you so much for the $2 super chat. Roy, you're awesome. Thank you so much. The magic of live streaming and walking 10 miles a day, says Penajotas. Oh no, I tell people like, hey, I went to Italy and I actually shed pounds. And they'll be like, oh, cool, I'm gonna do the same. And then they come back to me, it's like, Ariel, what happened? I actually gained weight. What were you talking about? And I'm like, well, you didn't do the second part. Very easy. They were like, what? What should be the second part? You know, eat more salads, do yoga. It's like, no, walk 10 miles a day. That's the second part. Look what we have over there. Name that religious structure. Name that religious structure right there. Ah, it's sharp. It's a sharp structure. Tammy says, your videos are so beautiful, unique, funny, sarcastic, and honest. Matt is back. He got his haircut. Hey, Matt, welcome back. Glad you got your haircut. Canyon got it right. St. Peter's Basilica. One of the most famous churches in the entire world. We visit the Basilica of Our Lady of Guadalupe, which is also a very popular basilica. We visited, let's see if we can dodge traffic like Frogger. So we visit Our Lady of Guadalupe, which is one of the most visited religious sites in the world. And the other most religious visited site in the world is right there, St. Peter's Basilica. Oh, good St. Peter's. This is the wall that surrounds the Vatican. Right here, across that wall, if I were to do some parkour, run across it, and then get tackled by the Swiss guard, I would be in another country. Thus, if they kick me out, I would be deported from a country. Kind of crazy to think about. I do not condone doing that though. Please do not climb the Vatican walls and get tackled by the Swiss guard. Please don't do that. Is that Via Ottaviano? I think Via Ottaviano might be this one. I think this might be Via Ottaviano. Yes, I think so. All right, soon I'll be going to the Vatican Museum on Friday, which is further down there. Stay tuned. I'll be going live from inside the Vatican Museum for as long as I can do it. I've done the live there before, it was pretty chill. Do the Swiss Army guards have Swiss Army knives? Oh, great question. No, they have like gigantic lances. Literally, that's what they have. I'm not sure what they're called, those lances. Okay, so I can walk quite a bit more. I had just a bunch of food. I recommend doing the same type of thing that when you're here in Italy, in any neighborhood. Prati is just a very fun neighborhood to go. Now we're transitioning to the neighborhood of Burgo, and of course we have Vatican City right next door. Let me know if you want to take a detour, and I'll show you the outside of Vatican City and St. Peter's Basilica, and we'll be back here later next week. So let me know if you want a detour, and then we'll head back into Prati. Vote now, forever hold your peace. Elvin says, how long are you in Italy? 13 more days. Cue the countdown timer. You don't see too many people walking dogs. No, not a big dog culture like there is in New York City. No, not at all. Well, speaking of which, now one of the rare chances where we do see someone walking a dog, but not as big as New York, as far as I know. Will you go to a Pantheon, says Chris. Chris, check out yesterday's video, but there's very little service in the Pantheon. So do watch my older video where I recorded a tour of the Pantheon back in 2019. Nina says 13 more days? Yes, 13 more days. It doesn't seem like enough. have enough of Europe. I don't know. I mean, there was another American man came here when he was a young man. Didn't know too much about the world. And then as he ventured through Europe on a budget where he nearly went broke various times, he fell in love with it very deeply. That man ended up becoming so obsessed with Europe that he built the all based on traveling to Europe. Will I follow in his footsteps? Who knows? Stay tuned on the next Urbanist. And who is the man I'm mentioning? Let me know in the comments. I think some people might know who I'm referring to. Nina says, the passing dog heard what you said about a few dogs. Yeah. Matt, thank you so much. Oh, Matt is being awesome and adding. Matt, that's the Urbanist bonus page. Carrie says, the man I am indeed talking about is Rick Steves. Rick Steves, an American who fell in love with Europe. Ronald says, Action Kid. No, Action Kid has not come to Europe yet. I tell him to come to Europe. I'm not sure why Action Kid is sticking to America. If anyone can explain that. The Swiss Guard, I think they might be. They're not in the full garbs, so they might be another police or security force. Victoria says, I just watched Rick Steves' Ireland last night. Yeah, he has an amazing travel show. He's a really cool guy. Alexander says, Gabrielle Traveler. I think he travels to more places than just Europe. Will you travel to other cities? Steven, my plan so far is only Rome. But who knows what will happen in these upcoming 13 days? Will I find global fame in Rome and Italy? Will I be featured on Italian national television? Will I get a personal audience with the Pope? And will I get hired to be in the Mission Impossible 7 movie while it's being filmed here with Tom Cruise, leading me into superstardom? Who knows? Stay tuned on the next Urbanist. So we just crossed the walls and now we're about to enter the Vatican. Wendy says, oh my God, wow, I love this. I'm so glad you do. So right here we got the passage have used for centuries to evict of death. Was in 1527 when the Holy Roman Emperor Charles V decided to attack. He did not like the power that was established by the Florentines and also the Papal States, and thus he came down here to try to take over the papacy. He sent over another Charles by the name of Charles of Bourbon to come here to sack Rome. Charles of Bourbon decided to wear a very fancy white and gold armor. So he stuck out like a sore thumb and he came to rile up his troops as he was about to attack the Vatican walls. And boom, he was shot. He yelled, I am dead. Just a few hours later. The men were left confused. They were coming from different parts. Soldiers. So they didn't have too much of an honor code, at least. Others were Germans who were just hot off the Protestant Reformation of Martin Luther. And of course you had others from the Holy Roman Empire. They, rather than flee, retreat, or just pillage and go, they decided to fight with a huge fervor. And they decided to sack the entire city of Rome, which had a population of 55,000 people. They absolutely ravaged the city. They took nuns and violated them. They forced priests to bless cows for fun. If they refused, they would, well, behead them. Well, the Pope was Pope Clement VII. He had the bad luck of becoming Pope during the Protestant Reformation. So the way he ended up escaping was through that passageway that we just saw. So he took that passageway all the way down to the castle, which I'll show you soon. It's estimated 45,000 people were killed in that sack of 1527. So here is St. Peter's Basilica. We are now in a different country. Oh yeah, we just did 2 countries in one live stream. Who would have thunk it? Has any other live streamer done that? 2 countries, 1 live stream. I don't know. I might be the first. Ronald says, Ariel's venturing to a place of faith. Be respectful. Indeed, indeed. Yeah, it's a place of faith. Do be respectful to its history and to its habits and culture. November says, great planning. I did not plan this. It was all spontaneous. Nina says, nobody but you. 2 countries, 1 live stream. That should be the name of my autobiography. Or the first urbanist book. Who wants an urbanist book called 2 countries, 1 stream? Oh wait, that might not be the most appropriate name. Actually, never mind. Just forget everything I just said the past few minutes. There is no book that will be called 2 countries, 1 stream. Forget it. Here's the obelisk. As I mentioned, the Brits are not doing anything new when it came to stealing other people's cultures, beautiful works of art and architecture, and taking it as their own. Nope, the British Museum ain't doing anything new. The ancient Romans were doing this 2,000 years before, with taking many, many different obelisks from Egypt, including this one. Matt says, crime in Vatican City consists largely of purse snatching, pickpocketing, and shoplifting. Yeah, I can imagine, Matt. Very few people live here. It's mostly clergymen and the people who work with them, like the Swiss Army. Swiss Guard, I mean. Robert says Egypt wasn't using it, to be fair. Same could be argued with a lot of works that are in the museums of the Louvre and British Museum. Ronald says, thank you for taking us here. My pleasure, Ronald. My pleasure. Thank you for tuning in. I'm so glad you're enjoying these beautiful religious sites. We're going to see a lot more churches. I know Ronald and many others are a huge fan of churches like I am. And we're going to see many, many others. And basically everything here is of the Catholic faith. So this huge colonnade is by one of the most important artists of Italy's history. Definitely of the history of Rome, the city. What architect is this? Let me know in the comments. He's going to be a name that we're going to say over and over and over again here on these Roman streams. Dean got it correct. Bernini. Bernini. Oh, Bernini was a crazy man. Crazy story. Let's go. I'm gonna wash my hands a little bit. I have gelato hands, and I need to wash them. I have to wash my hands of gelato, just like Bernini washed his hands of blood. Wait, what happened with Bernini? Well, Bernini didn't need to wash his hands from gelato. He had to wash his hands from blood. Bernini was one of the premier architects and sculptors of the Roman Baroque era, right after the Renaissance. He was a bit of a superstar when he was very young, building all these great works. Well, not these ones, he built it a little bit later, but building other sculptures that ended up becoming world famous, or famous at least in Europe. People flocked to see the sculptures of Bernini, and he became very popular. Well, he also gained a little bit of an ego when he became super popular. So he had an affair with a woman, and that woman decided to have an affair with Bernini's brother. Well, Bernini did not like this. How dare this woman betray his trust? Him being so popular, him being such a big deal for his brother? Well, Bernini came in a huge rage over to his brother with a huge piece of rock and hammered him right in the head. He almost killed him. He had blood on his hands. So what happened to Bernini? Well, who has blood in his hands, the center of Catholicism. Lois says, what is your PayPal address? Sure thing, Lois. PayPal.me/Ariel Vieira. I am going to link it right now. Cynthia, I'm staying 13 more days. 15 days in total. However, if all goes well, I will be showing you more Italy. So if you find value in these broadcasts, for anyone who's interested, do consider leaving a PayPal, Super Chat, stars, or becoming a supporter or a patron. Press that join button on YT, that become a supporter button on FB, or patreon.com/urbanist. Right over here. You get access to bonus 360 videos, which you're going to see in the Vatican. You might see a chapel. Can't promise which one, but you might see a chapel. And you will be seeing other 360 videos here, along with access to the 360 videos made in Greece. So this was a very bad deal with Bernini. Issue. He was tasked to building one of the towers here in St. Peter's Basilica. But wait a minute, we really don't see a tower anymore. Well, Bernini decided to design this huge tower here in St. Peter's Basilica. And his rival at the time in architecture was Bernini. And we have a new member, Cynthia. Thank you so much for tuning in. And let me tell you the story, and then I'll show you all the details as we walk around. I did not intend on doing this today, but you know, I can't help but tell you a good story. So I hope you enjoyed the stories. I can't help myself to tell you this epic story. So, Bernini saw the plans for this tower and ended up seeing that the actual land cannot sustain a huge, massive tower to flank St. Peter's Basilica. You know, many towers in Gothic architecture, we see two huge towers in many of these beautiful churches. Built yet, but you see it like in... to do the same thing here. You have a very bad foundation over here. This is gonna fall down. Had a bit of a big ego. And he thought to himself, screw you, I know what I'm doing. So Bernini decided to go directly to the Pope. And the Pope said, no, I trust Bernini. He started building it. And then cracks started appearing. The foundation looked like it was about to crumble down, the entire tower. It was a huge tower. Right now, this is about 400 feet tall, the dome. The tower is going to be bigger. So imagine a huge 500-foot tower collapsing during the Baroque era. That's when the Pope called in Bernini to help out. Well, they actually did not end up building the tower because it was too risky. And that's why to this day we don't have two huge towers flanking St. Peter's Basilica. So what happened to Bernini? Well, he couldn't continue in his ways. So he got into a deal with the Vatican and decided to live a pious, and he decided to and he became a pretty devout Christian in a very serious way. He actually really became deeply devout, so much so that he made some of the most beautiful sculptures in Catholicism to this day, which we will see at some point in this trip. One of them is the Ecstasy of Saint Teresa. I'm so excited to show it to you at some point. And luckily he was not trusted to build a huge tower after that also. But he did build this colonnade. Susie says, how do you remember this stuff? It just literally all came to me. I already did an episode on this in 2019. I did not refresh my memory on the Bernini story. It literally all came to me. Do your own research. My details might be a little bit spotty, but that is the gist of the story. I hope you enjoyed it. Cynthia, thank you so much for becoming a member. The bell tolls. Here is the screens that are used when the Pope comes out, and he comes out here in the... Which one does he come out in? If anyone can tell me for sure, does he come out on this one in the center? Or is it that one on top? I think it might be the center one. Yeah, most likely the center one. Yeah, he comes out here. Julie sent 200 stars. Thank you so much, Julie. And thank you so much, Matt, for telling me. Thank you so much for letting me know. Matt has taken the initiative of telling me who sends stars on Facebook, so I really appreciate it. Hearts to Matt on Facebook for providing extra information and telling me who sends stars. Watch out, the Pope's behind me. Oh, where's the Pope? I want to hang out with him. Francis, hey, I'm here. Come out, Francis. I want to hang out. Lucy, will I meet with the Pope? Well, who knows? Anything can happen on this trip. That's the beauty of traveling. Anything can happen. If you want to see any of the details, do let me know. I'll be back here. I'll tell you a little bit more. Some crazy other stories here. Someone earlier mentioned stories. You're going to run out. You're not going to have anything. Oh, this is the Vatican, filled to the very brim of stories. So many stories that I cannot even fit into 1, 2, or 3, or 4 videos. And let alone the conspiracy theories too, which of course is not history, but they're very fun to talk about. So I'll be back here and we're gonna learn about some crazy stuff, from the attempted assassination of Pope John Paul II, which might have ties to the Soviet Union, to the apparent time travel device libraries. That's more conspiracy theory than history. So the beautiful sculptures of Michelangelo inside. So there's a whole lot of stuff here. So just you wait. Just you wait. Linda says, come to Genoa. Wow, let's go to Genoa. Joe says, I saw Pope John Paul II in Central Park. That's so amazing. Oh, wow. When was this? This was the early 90s? Was when he visited Central Park? Let me know. Adam says, I love conspiracy theories. Well, you're in luck, Adam. We will be talking about them on the official Vatican episode. Cynthia, where are you staying? I will let everyone know where I'm staying at the end of my stay here in Rome. So 13 days from now, you'll know where I'm staying and you'll know the Airbnb I stayed at. Do you keep a journal or notes on paper for your adventures and encounters, says MDN. I don't keep a journal where I talk about my daily life. Anything about my daily life, I sometimes write it on Instagram. But I do keep notes. Well, actually, I do note things, but it's not really like a journal in the classical sense. It's more like notes to self, how to improve my own life. But I do have notes that I have not referred to this entire episode, but I do write notes of what I research, especially dates and names, which are sometimes a little bit hard to remember, dates and names. So these are the notes for Vatican and Prati. And you know, I do write these. Sometimes I do refer to them. Actually, most times I don't. But just the mere act of writing them helps me remember the names and dates. The stories are a bit easier to remember because I tend to tell stories that I really enjoy learning about. So I tend to remember them easier. Crazy to see how empty the Vatican is. Yeah, it's very empty. Very empty. I am shocked as well. And I'm not sure if St. Peter's is opening. Usually it's open until pretty late, I think. I remember walking into St. Peter's at 6 p.m. Okay, we will be back here. Stay tuned. No pigeons, but a lot of pigeon poo. Might be no pigeons, but a lot of pigeon poo all around. Hey, Diana says, great tour. Thank you so much for a $5 super chat. Thank you. Are you going inside? Fine. There is very little service inside, but there is a good chance I will be offering a bonus 360 video tour inside St. Peter's Basilica for urbanist supporters. Ariello says, Lucine, say my name in Italian. Ariello, thank you so much, Lucine. Nice to see you here. What time is it in Italy right now? Should be about 7:30 p.m. Chris, how are you going to be long in Rome? 13 more days. August 3rd is my last final day in Rome. Who knows where we'll go beyond then. Maybe I'll be back in New York. Maybe not. I don't write the future, I just merely tell stories of the past. Let's continue on. Stay tuned. Friday, I'll be back here. I'll let you know what time I'll be back here for the Vatican episode. It'll be before the Vatican Museum. So it'll be maybe around 2 p.m., 2 or 3 p.m. Rome time. Johnny, how long are you streaming today? I'm not sure. Maybe a little bit longer. PayPal address, please, says Jen. Sure thing. Right there, paypal.me/Ariel Vera. That's my name, Ariel Vera. We can't walk through the colonnade now. I'm not sure why they locked it off. There are many tourists here, says Charlotte. Nope, not that many tourists. Someone else left a super chat. Thank you so much for leaving a super chat, Diana. Another one, Diana. That's awesome. Alicine, nuti tutti. Everybody eat, says Alicine. What does nuti tutti mean? It means the great night. Thank you so much, Alicine, for the $10 super chat. Ronald says, I'm making the ultimate sacrifice of not visiting Port Authority. Yes. Yes. I know it's very hard, Ronald. Very hard. Very hard not to show Port Authority right now. You know, I could be in New York right now showing you Port Authority. But I decided, like Ronald said, to sacrifice the beauty of Port Authority to come here and show you the Vatican. It's a hard life. It's a hard life, but it's a necessary one. Someone's got to do it. I'm taking the mantle. I am bearing the cross, so to speak. Hey, Roy has become a new member. Roy, welcome to becoming a super urbanist. Ooh, we're getting a lot of super urbanists on this broadcast. POV says that's a sacrifice. It's a big one. POV, big sacrifice. Natalia, thank you so much for all the emojis. Wendy says, this is bliss. Oh, yes. Indeed, it is rather blissful. Susan says, thank you, Ariel. Came back here in 2019. I watched you here back in 2019, says Susan. Awesome to see you here back. Yeah, Susan, you were one of the OG urbanists who saw in 2019. How do you send the super chat, says Fred. Ooh, Fred, you're watching on FB right now. FB is via stars. So to send stars, you have to first buy them and then you send them. So it's a two-step process. It's very easy to do on Facebook. However, if you really want to contribute directly, PayPal is the best way. PayPal.me/Ariel Vieira. Your choice. Otherwise, super chats, what you're referring to, Fred, is on YT. If you want to watch on YT, don't say the name too often because FB doesn't like it. It's a big red platform. Someone could write it down in the comments and tell Fred what YT is. It's Urbanist Exploring Cities. That's the name of the channel. Kurt Flirt, send $5 super chat. Love it that you are here. Keep on exploring Miss Rome and Venice. Oh yes, I feel you. So now we are leaving a country to go back to another one. We're going back to Rome. So is the Pope nearby, says Joe. Well, he does live here. This is his crib, as we say in America, crib, which means a home. Oh, we got the scammer guys. Christoph says, great humor. Thank you so much, Christoph. But this is a serious show, Christoph. I don't know what humor you are talking about. I don't know what's so funny. This is a very, very serious show. We talk about serious history. We talk about serious urbanism and serious architecture and serious gelatos. Okay? Serious. Very serious. This is now El Burgo. Burgo is one of the other riones in Roma. Now, this used to look completely different back in the day. It was not this open and this wide, leading to the beautiful vista of St. Peter's. Johnny, is there a border? I don't know exactly what's the demarcation point for the border. I think it might be there, the colonnade. Joe says sarcasm is creeping up again. Oh, Joe. Sarcasm mode is in full. Donald says public mastication is no laughing matter. It isn't, Donald. Do you plan to go to Venice? W. Gator. No set plans yet, but who knows? Border is the outer colonnade. Thank you so much, Tamo. So the outer colonnade, yep. Here. We just crossed the border, everyone. We are officially border runners today. All of you are implicated. All 500 plus of you. We have more than 500 people tuning in. All 500 of you are implicated in crossing the border. I hope you're okay with that. Do you see any Swiss Guard? No, I think we briefly saw Swiss Guard before, but not that many. Is the Swiss Guard in front of the Basilica anymore? I have not seen them today. You know, in 2019, I also did not see them. I saw them in the museum. There's like a outer area. They were protecting some passage in the museum. POV says, can we go to one of Titan's moons? I don't know. I have to talk with Jeffrey Bezos about that. Susan says, God bless. Are you going to Milan? I don't know. Who knows what will happen on this trip? Kenya says, I don't see who is he talking to. Kenya, I'm streaming to 3 platforms at the same time. YT, FB, and Twitch. 3 platforms. 3 platforms, 1 stream. Hey, Sharon says, glad you're enjoying one of the favorite cities. I cannot wait to get back and enjoy espresso too. Ooh, Sharon, yes. Thank you so much for a $5 super chat. All right, let's go to Cast San Angelo. Alicine, well, you see the Pope. I'm really, really love to hang out with Francis. He's a cool guy. I feel like we can be bros. Just gotta call him up. So all this used to be a lot of houses. And the name Borgo, might be slightly mispronouncing that, but that is derived from the German Berg, which means town. And it's because people have been doing pilgrimages to St. Peter's Basilica ever since the very first church was built, all the way back in the era of Emperor Constantine. We talked about Emperor Constantine a lot in Greece, actually. He was the first emperor to really embrace Christianity and make it official across the Roman Empire. He had a vision where he saw the cross across the sky on the eve of a battle, and thus he decided to devote himself to Christianity. Well, Emperor Constantine decided to build a church on top of the site where St. Peter was killed and buried. Once that church was built, people started making pilgrimages here. And then it really ramped up when they started building the big basilica that we have to this day. Thus, this was filled with hotels, hospices, hostels, places to stay of all sorts and kind. It was a very densely packed area, also kind of a bit ramshack. So just imagine London, Soho. That's how this looked like before. It looked like this all the way till about the 1930s, when it was all unceremoniously destroyed. But why? Well, in 1922, there was the Lateran Treaty. And that treaty, Italy came into agreement with the Vatican that they will have their own sovereignty. Hence, the Vatican is now its own sovereign country. One of the deals was to make this huge passageway for a clear line of sight from the Cast of St. Angelo, which is the castle we're going to see right down there, all the way to Il Vaticano, St. Peter's Basilica. Thus, they had to destroy this entire neighborhood that was all around here. Some of the remnants of this neighborhood is in this next block. So let's take a peek. Beautiful church, this one. But first, you were streaming there at that time, yeah. But first, a nice sit on the bench. Joe says the urbanist is an internationalist multi-performer. Thank you so much, Joe. Wendy says, wow, cool. Christianity was the only religion that would forgive him for his sins, says George. Maybe George. Gary says, go to Turin, hire a Mini Cooper and drive it around the roof of the Fiat factory. The Italian job, says Gary. Ooh, that sounds like a good recommendation. Trying to send PayPal, but it won't let me, says Jan. Ooh, I'm not sure why. Also, if you send PayPal's hint, hint, some of you are friends, so maybe choose the friends and family. You know, we have a lot of friends who watch. So the reason don't choose the other option is because I'm actually not selling you anything. You're giving a contribution. It's not really a service. You're not paying for a service. So do choose that other option. Bench test. So we're sitting on the bench. No backside here. So this is a backless bench. But I love the calmness of this beautiful passageway. And I feel safe with the huge military, with the huge rifles. I feel very safe with them right here. So it feels very good. I love all these kind of lights right over here. So this would be a beautiful place to sit at night. I would give this bench, it doesn't have a backside. There is no bird poo. That's nice. No bird poo. Okay, that's good. The view, I can't really see St. Peter's Basilica. I have to like peek over. So I would give this a fair 7.3. This is a 7.3. It would be nice for people watching, but there's almost no one here. Why is this so empty? This is usually packed to the brim. There used to be like restaurants here or food. What happened? Why has Rome turned into a ghost town? Alicine says, I love your shirt with the big kittens. Makes me want scotch and soda. So this is Bonobos, the shirt I'm wearing. Are you going to Galleria Borghese? I actually did a live stream on Galleria Borghese before, in July 2019. I might go again, maybe. What does there need to be a higher score, says Wendy. A higher score would need a backside. It would need a unobstructed view. It's a bit obstructed right now. And we need something a little bit more, a little bit more. Here, there's almost no one walking around. It's a bit empty. I'm just facing a building. It's a nice building, but it just needs something a little bit more. So it's missing that. There must be an Italian expression for it, but it's missing that dolce vita. Hey, Coral says, now I understand why Anthony Bourdain loved this city. Yeah, Anthony Bourdain fell in love with the city. It might have been influenced because he fell in love with a woman who lived in the city. That might be the reason. He actually did an episode on it. Check it out. really empty. Why is the Vatican so empty? Someone said it's because it's hard to come into the country. Yeah, Italy is a bit tricky. You have to take a few COVID tests. I did not encounter that coming from the EU, from inside the EU. So maybe that's the reason, yeah. A lot of things are open though. Vatican Museum is open, basically normal hours. The Pantheon is open. Colosseum and the Roman Forum are open. Two Popes is one of my favorite films of all time. If you haven't seen it, it came out last year during Christmas time. I love that film so much. I rewatched it 2 times again. So 3 times I watched that movie. It's amazing. Mind-blowing film. I just connected with it on such a deep level. So check out the Two Popes if you haven't seen it. Benoit says they're all at the beach. Maybe all the tourists went to the beach. Are you legally in the country, Ariello? Yes, I am. Of course I am. I am legally in the country. The Italian government knows exactly my name, where I'm from, because I had to fill out a form. Wow. Can't believe how beautiful this is. Wendy says I'm going to watch it now. Oh, Wendy, don't go. Don't go. Watch after the broadcast. George says women is always the reason why a man falls in love with the city. Well, I fall in love with many cities. There wasn't necessarily a woman there. But I don't know. I feel like Ante Bourdain fell in love more with the woman than the city. I'm not sure. That's my intuition, but I don't know his life. Maybe I could be wrong. If anyone knows a bit more details, the documentary just came out of him. I really want to see it, but that's my feeling behind it. Ronald says you had to talk to the State Department to give you a diplomat license plate. That would be great. Oh, so Cake Fate is clarifying. She says that Anthony Bourdain was a fan of Italy in general prior to his relationship with Asia. But I'm not sure about the love of Rome specifically. Yeah, because Asia was from Rome. But yeah, you are right, Cake. He did mention Italy a lot in this show, and the food. Trying to do stars, says Jan. Yeah, so Jan, you had to buy stars and then send them. 2-step process for stars. So this is the castle. Well, in Italian, it's Cast of San Angelo. Why is it called that? And this is a castle? Well, no. This is an ancient Roman ruin. Well, it's not so ruined, but it's an ancient Roman structure. It was built as a huge mausoleum for the great Emperor Hadrian. Hadrian was a fan of architecture. I told you there was going to be a lot of Hadrian. Hadrian had a library in Athens, Greece. Hadrian did many big works in Athens, Greece. Well, he also loved Rome and loved building huge epic buildings here. This was one of his structures because originally it was going to be dedicated to his lover, Antonius. But then he passed away and they decided to build the structure to make it into his mausoleum. Hadrian was buried inside here. I'm not sure if he still is. However, one of the popes, Pope Gregory the Great, early, I think it was around 500 AD, around there, right during a huge plague that ravaged the city of Rome and many other cities along the Mediterranean. It was the Justinian plague. He ended up seeing a bright light, and many other people have been reported to see that bright light. That bright light appeared right on top of the mausoleum of Hadrian. It went down right above, and it was the angel, the archangel Michael. Okay, so that was the song Avocado Toast from the Secret Urbanist album that was released a few weeks ago that maybe someone actually bumped into. Yep. I did not only make a third album, but I also made a fourth. It's a lot shorter, so it's an EP made by the artist I collaborated with on the first album. His name is Cameron Gorman, very talented musician. And that album is called Sunday Brunch. So the reason I put it on is because those guys were playing a cover of a very popular song, and hopefully I'm not copyrighted for that. But that song is so popular that there's a good chance that I'm already copyrighted for it. So thank you everyone who has been giving me, who has been contributing to the show by becoming a supporter and sending in stars and super chats. Thank you so much. Even if I'm copyrighted for songs like that cover of a very popular song, I will still get what you ever give through super chats and stars, and of course PayPal's as well. Alicine says, am I going to Florence? I don't know. We will find out. Who knows? Will I go Florence? Oh, look, we have Stephen the Seagull's Italian brother. Yep, Stephen the Seagull has an Italian brother. A lot of people don't know that. And his name is Stefano. Stefano the Seagull. Yeah, Stephen the Seagull's brother, Stefano. So these sculptures, you might be wondering, what are these sculptures? Well, these were made by that artist, the bad boy superstar sculptor architect who ended up becoming a devout Christian later in life, our boy Bernini. Bernini made these. So Paul is asking what pope hid here. So I mentioned earlier the sack of Rome, 1527. A pope went through the passageway. That passageway connects all the way to here. It's the private passageway for the pope. 500 Swiss guards were involved in that battle, and a few of them were protecting the pope privately. That pope was Pope Clement VII, and he hid inside this castle until he too was taken prisoner. Now, it was very odd for a pope to grow a beard. almost every single clergy of Catholicism is clean shaven, unlike the Greek Orthodox or any type of Orthodox. But Pope Clement said that he was mourning the loss of all those 45,000 people that died here in Rome due to the sack, that he grew his beard in mourning. So very romantic bridge. So let's finish crossing this bridge. If you have any last remaining questions, this will be our last stop for the day. Thank you everyone so much for tuning in. Veronica says, glad we meet again. Glad you're enjoying your trips. How beautiful are those canals? Are you going to ride a gondola for us? No gondolas here. This is not a canal. This is a very big river and a very kind of rough river at times. This is the river Tiber. Tiber, not like tiger, with a B instead. Tiber. And Tiber, you know, it's not like the Seine. Not that many people hang out on the waterfront because I think it's much bigger and there's a lot more mosquitoes because there's brackish waters. So no. Hey, Alicine says, Ariello, no one's wearing masks. Nope, not that many people wearing masks. Unless if you go indoors. Lois sent 200 stars. Oh, thank you so much, Lois. Thank you so much for the 200 stars. Rome wasn't filmed in a day, says. That's very funny. That's very funny, Paul. I love that. Rome wasn't filmed in a day. Yeah, it wasn't filmed in a day. And that's why we will be doing more. Henning says it's pronounced the Tiber. Really? It's pronounced Tiber? Mosquitoes. Hope you got your repellent on, says Veronica. Yeah, if you come close to the river at night or in the afternoon, do bring repellent just in case. I don't think I will encounter it, but yeah, do bring it just in case. Let me mute for a little bit. So that was avocado toast from the album Sunday Brunch by Urbanist. Oh, that was so much fun. Thank you everyone so much for tuning in. Hey everyone, thank you so much for tuning in. I had to mute for a while because there's a club playing reggaeton music. I cannot escape reggaeton. I'm in Italy and I can't escape reggaeton. You know, as a Puerto Rican, I'm proud of reggaeton, but those are the hardest, those are the songs that are usually the hardest hit with copyright. So, can't escape the reggaeton. Everyone, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you everyone who's become a super urbanist during this broadcast. We have a few of them, Cynthia and a few others. Thank you so much. Thank you everyone who's been leaving super chats and PayPals and stars, keeping the show running and thriving and exploring different places. So if you really think that it's valuable to you, $5 a month is valuable to you to keep exploring the world from the comfort of your own phone. You don't need to do any planning, none of the 10-mile walk a day, none of the buying tickets ahead of time, none of the historical research. You can just sit down in your couch plop it on your TV or watch it from your phone while you're washing the dishes or doing transcendental meditations to the soothing sounds of my voice for $5 a month. So if you see that valuable, do consider becoming a super urbanist. Everyone, I am probably gonna find some dinner a little bit later on tonight. So do have your notifications on because I do random broadcast also beyond the 6 p.m. daily broadcast here in Rome. See you every day, 6 p.m. daily Rome, 5 p.m. UK, 12 p.m. New York. Keep being awesome and always keep on exploring. Have a good day, everyone. Ciao, bello e bella. Buonanotte.